With today's uncertainty and chaos in an unpredictable world, life has a way of reminding us just how fragile it can be. Waiting for the perfect moment, for someday, can mean missing out on the life we're meant to live. For me, travel isn't just about visiting new places. It's about living fully, collecting experiences, and making the most of the time we're given. So today, I'm sharing my top 5 travel bucket list destinations, and I hope it inspires you to think about your own. Number 5 on my bucket list is Australia, and this trip would be an adventure from start to finish. I'd begin in Sydney, living the full tourist life, sailing past the Opera House, walking across the Harbour Bridge, and catching the sunset at Bondi Beach. And of course, I'd try fish and chips by the water and a proper flat white coffee, because Australians take their coffee seriously. Next, I'd head north to the Great Barrier Reef, because this is one of those see it before it's gone experiences. I want to snorkel among the coral, spot sea turtles and parrotfish, and just float there thinking, wow, I'm really here. After that, it's the Gold Coast for some sunshine and surf. I picture mornings walking the beach, afternoons watching surfers ride the waves, and evenings trying local favorites like Moreton Bay bugs, which, fun fact, are actually a type of lobster. Finally, I'd wrap up in Melbourne, which is extra special because I have a couple of friends there I'd love to meet in person. We'd grab world-famous Melbourne coffee, explore laneway street art, hit a rooftop bar, and maybe even catch an Aussie rules football match. Australia, for me, is the perfect blend of bucket list adventure and personal connection. Iconic sights, incredible wildlife, amazing food, and friends to share it all with. Quick question for you. When you travel to a place like this, do you prefer the comfort of a hotel or the local vibe of an Airbnb? Let me know in the comments. I'm torn on this one. Number 4 on my bucket list is Italy, a place that speaks to my heart through faith, art, history, and poetry. I'd begin in Rome, where walking into St. Peter's Basilica, standing beneath the Sistine Chapel, and exploring the Vatican's museums would be a spiritual and humbling experience. These spaces remind you that life is fleeting, but some things like faith and beauty endure. Then there's Florence, the cradle of the Renaissance. I imagine strolling across the Ponte Vecchio, gelato in hand, surrounded by the genius of Da Vinci and Michelangelo. It's the kind of city that makes you feel like creativity is in the air. Of course, Venice is next, a city that doesn't feel real until you see it. Floating down the Grand Canal in a gondola would be like gliding through a Canaletto painting. And as a fan of Dante and Virgil, I can't help but think this is the complete opposite of floating down the river Styx. No darkness, no despair, just sunlight, music, and maybe a gondolier singing off-key. Finally, the Amalfi Coast would be the perfect ending to this Italian adventure. Cliffside villages, fresh seafood, limoncello under the stars. The kind of slow, savoring moments that make you realize how rich life can be when you truly live it. Italy is where faith, art, food, and poetry collide, turning a journey into something that feeds the soul and makes you smile along the way. Number 3 on my bucket list is Greece, where philosophy, natural beauty, and unforgettable food all come together. I'd start in Athens, walking the same streets as Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle. Standing beneath the Parthenon, I imagine feeling the weight of history, the reminder that life is fleeting, but wisdom and experiences can echo across centuries. Then it's off to the islands, especially Santorini. Those whitewashed homes with blue domes, sunsets that set the Aegean on fire, this is where you slow down and just breathe. Sitting at the seaside taverna, eating grilled octopus and fresh feta salad with the sea breeze on my face, I think that's as close as travel gets to therapy. By the way, if you want to see why I'm so obsessed with Santorini, check out my full Santorini video after this one. I'll link it down below. And of course, I dive into all the Greek food, gyros, souvlaki, moussaka, and honey-soaked baklava because in Greece, food is a celebration, not just a meal. To me, Greece is where the soul and the senses meet. Ancient wisdom in Athens, island beauty in the Aegean, and flavors that make you slow down and savor life. Quick question for you. If you had to choose, would you spend more time exploring ruins and history or chasing sunsets on the islands? I can't decide. A trip that's part personal roots, part history lesson, and part storybook adventure. For Ireland, I want to start in Cork, where my wife's family is from. There's something special about visiting the places that are part of your story, even if you've never been there before. I imagine walking its colorful streets, stopping in a pub for a hearty Irish stew or a fresh seafood chowder, and thinking about the generations who came before us. From there, I'd visit the cliffs of Moher, Blarney Castle, and all those postcard-worthy Irish landscapes, rolling green hills, ancient stone walls, and sheep grazing under dramatic skies. There's a peace in Ireland's countryside that feels like it whispers, "Slow down. Take this in. Life is happening right now." Then across to the United Kingdom, where I'd dive into the history and charm of London, crossing Tower Bridge, touring the Tower of London, and soaking in all the touristy moments without shame. Life's too short not to enjoy the cliches sometimes. I'd love to head north to Scotland to see Edinburgh Castle and drive through the Highlands, maybe even try a bit of haggis, though I might need a little courage for that one. And finally, Northern Ireland, where I have a friend I'd love to visit. There's something so meaningful about pairing bucket list travel with human connection. A reminder that the best trips aren't just about places, but the people. The UK and Ireland feel like a journey through time and heritage, a reminder that while life moves fast, there's magic in walking streets where history, and maybe even your own family's footsteps, still echo. Would you spend more time exploring the big cities or the countryside on a UK-Ireland trip? And finally, number 1 on my bucket list is Israel, a place that's as much a journey of the soul as it is of the body. I imagine starting in Jerusalem, walking the ancient stone streets and standing where history and faith converge. Visiting the Western Wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the Mount of Olives would be like stepping into the pages of the Bible itself. These aren't just sights, they're living reminders of the stories and beliefs that have shaped my life. From there, I'd visit the Sea of Galilee, where the water is calm and you can almost hear the echoes of history across the waves. Then, floating in the Dead Sea, surrounded by desert mountains, would be the perfect moment to just be still, to take in the wonder of the world and the brevity of life. Of course, I'd also explore Christian heritage sites and experience modern Israeli culture, bustling markets in Tel Aviv, fresh pita with hummus and falafel, and the hospitality that makes the Holy Land feel alive. Israel is my number 1 because it represents everything that travel can be: spiritual, transformative, grounding. And for me, it's not just about having this destination on a bucket list, it's about fulfilling it. Because a bucket list means nothing if we never take action to truly live it. Life is unpredictable and fragile, and travel reminds us to seize the moments we're given. My top 5 destinations are my dreams in motion. Places I don't just want to see, but experience fully. Now, I want to hear from you. What are your top 5 bucket list destinations? Drop them in the comments because maybe we'll inspire each other to not just dream about life, but live it. If you found this video inspiring, hit those like and subscribe buttons. Only 3.4% of you guys watching are actually subscribed to my channel. I'd love to be a part of your daily YouTube feed. This is Kelly, your trusted vacation agent, hoping you fulfill your bucket list dreams and have safe travels along the way.